Hello, I'm Scott Bulky here with Ali Wasuk ahead of his upcoming BFL fight against Aso Palani. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well, brother. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. And how are you feeling ahead of this upcoming fight?
I feel great, man. I feel like I've done everything I needed to prepare for this fight. Now I just got to go out there and do what I've been doing for the past 12 weeks and putting it all together out there and performing, wins and losses are out of my control.
Yeah.
All I can control is what I do in there. And that's what I'm focusing on.
And last time out, you were able to get that first round finish. How good was it to be able to get back into the win column?
It felt great, bro. It felt great. The fight before that, when I lost to Christian, it was I wasn't myself in there. Put a lot more pressure than I needed to. And I learned a lot. I learned a lot. So came back and got the victory. Performed like I know how I should be able to perform,
Yeah.
and it was great, bro. It was great.
And do you feel like it's not about the loss, like just taking it, but it's about learning from it and being able to overcome what basically brought you to the defeat?
Definitely, man. I know like at this level, everybody trains super hard. Everybody puts in the work. It's all the little things when it comes to this at this level of fights. So for me, man, obviously you never want to lose, but if it does happen, being able to take something away from it and growing, which is all we can do as humans is
Yeah.
just develop ourselves and grow, and that goes past martial arts as well. It goes with life, with anything else. So yeah.
And how is it to not only be able to be part of the BFL, but to have have so many fights under their belt and just being able to see the progress of it? Because I know just recently you did have Radley De Silva, who was able to represent BFL on the Contender Series. So it is starting to get that recognition it deserves.
Yeah, definitely. For me, having a promotion that's as big as BFL, just in, close to where I live, it is huge. Being able to fight as frequently as I'd like to is huge for my development. So, that being said, I'm super grateful for the platform, and I'm super grateful to be able to perform in front of thousands of eyes being on UFC Fight Pass as well. So, yeah, it's a blessing.
And you talk about that frequent of activity. This is your third fight of 2025. When you came into this year, what were you kind of like planning?
Um, for me, honestly, I take it fight by fight, but I do try to fight as much as possible. I try to go out there and put it all on the line as much as possible to be able to get the recognition and the eyes that I need for me to propel and level up in this industry. So yeah, it's I try to fight as much as possible.
And what do you see as your strengths coming into this matchup?
I think I am better than him in most areas of the sport. I even think I'm better than him when it comes to MMA wrestling. If it was just like pure wrestling, he might have the upper hand. I don't know. We haven't tested that out yet, but I think that I am better than him everywhere, and I think that um, that being said, I'm looking to find the right tool to beat this guy. Uh yeah, I'm super excited. And I do believe that, I am better than him everywhere.
And do you feel like your experience, not only just the 14 fights compared to the four, but you've gone into the championship rounds as well. You've had the pressure of having to defend the title. You've been able to deal with all this. Do you think that that's going to be able to help you overcome this obstacle?
Yeah, I think it's a game of inches in this sport. You take any little stretch, any
Yeah.
centimeter, any millimeter, and I think that is definitely an advantage for me as well. I'm this is his highest caliber fight, whereas I've had many of these
Yeah.
fights coming into it. So you know, but he has you know, had high level wrestling matches and stuff like that. So he's had competition at a high level as well. But and I'm not looking past him by any means, but yeah, I do think that, you know, the edge for that goes to me, and I'm definitely more active. You know, I've almost fought this year. I will probably fight just as many wins as he has. So I do think that, you know, that plays a big role and a big favor for me. So yeah, super lucky to have that under my belt as well.
And what do you feel like currently has been the toughest test for you?
I honestly believe like Series City has been one of the toughest tests for me. I've learned a lot out of those two fights. And I've grown a lot out of those two fights. So yeah, those have been high, like a high pace, high
Yeah.
pressure kind of scenarios. Also the Christian Strong fight, I don't think he was the toughest test, but I think the pressure that I put on myself was very high. It was like near him going to that next level. So it was unnecessary pressure, and that's what I learned from that fight. But in that sense, it was hard as well. But I would say yeah, those two would be my top.
And then obviously the UFC, they're coming back to Canada for a fight night coming within the next couple of months. They have just been into Canada for a pay-per-view. How good is it being able to have the UFC come back to Canada?
Yeah, it's huge, man. It's huge, especially like you know, the crop of fighters we have
Yeah,
coming out of Vancouver. You know, we got Rodrigo right now. He's you know, he's not fighting on the Vancouver card, but um he's fighting on the Ultimate Fighter, that on the Noche card coming up. So yeah, it's great, man. And you know, he's brought a lot of eyes. He's been here for like 2 3 years, but he's brought a lot of eyes to Vancouver. We have a few other people, obviously, like you mentioned, Radley and Loopy and Jamie as well from Vancouver. So, you know, we're getting a little bit of recognition and trying to make a splash in the UFC. And there's a lot more up and comers coming up as well. So, super excited for being on that next crop.
and do you feel like having the UFC fight pass behind the organizations like BFL and Unified just gives you guys that exposure?
Yeah, definitely. Just more eyes and more eyes. You know, you just need the right person to see you fight one time and to like your fighting style to make you, you know, to change your life. So that's all it's gonna take. And you know, hopefully BFL will have a card, which they usually do right before the UFC card. And
Yeah.
you know, you know, if all things go well this fight, looking to get on there, and hopefully having like the main UFC guys watching the fight the night before, and kind of yeah, just making having the right eyes watch my fight would be huge.
And coming back into the UFC, a big talking point just coming out of the UFC Shanghai card is fighter pay. Because I think it was, I hope I got this name right. I think it's Charles Johnson who was said he was in the red going into that fight. Do you feel like the main reason that fighter pay hasn't really increased is because when you go make that step up from regional pay to UFC pay, it's just that big of a jump where fighters are just like, oh, I need to have this cash. I'm not going to try and negotiate higher because it's just that big of a divide.
Yeah, I mean, you know, for me, like obviously I could be doing many different things over the past 10, 15 years of my martial arts journey where I could have been making more money.
Yeah,
So for me, I definitely love the sport, and you know, it's something where I see like my life being able to change for the better. But yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head with that, where you know, you go from the regional scene and then you jump up to the pros. It's not like the NFL or
yeah.
you know, basketball or NBA where you make those like millions. You know, you're jumping up from maybe, you know, 5,000 on the regional scene to 12,000 and 12,000 in the UFC, which is, 25K, and you're like, holy shit, like I gotta take it, I gotta make it. And you're just going in there and, being honest, man, like you fight 3 times a year. If you're making 12 and 12, say you win 2 out of the 3, you're still
Yeah.
like, just a minimum wage job, right? So it's still kind of it's still tough. But people just see that big number right off the bat, and I think that's where they get lost a little bit. And I hope that, in the future fighters do get the pays that they deserve, because I do truly believe that this is the hardest job in the world, the hardest sport in the world. And it takes a lot, it takes physical, it takes mental, and you're just going in there and it's just you. You can't hide behind a team. You can't have teammates help you, even though you need your teammates in training camp and coaches and everything like that.
Yeah.
But when it comes to fight time, like it's just mano y mano, and yeah, there's nowhere to hide in that octagon. So um yeah, man, I think it's the toughest sport, and I do think the fighters deserve to be paid way more than, any other sport.
And I think what really shocked people as well was the fact that Malcolm Wellmaker was still working full time while he was still competing in the UFC.
Hmm.
So, are you being able to do this full time, or are you still working as well as being able to do the fighting?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I still work as well. I do privates when I can. In this day and age, man, like there's no way where I could,
Yeah,
do this without having to work. Obviously, there's some people out there that do have that luxury where they come from a wealthier family or something like that. But for me, man, like, I'm here taking care of my mom, and trying to create a better life where she doesn't have to work and things like that. So, yeah, that option isn't available to me. And days are tough in training. I still put in,
yeah.
definitely on the higher caliber of hours into the gym. I still train 3 4 hours a day, 6 days a week. So I definitely don't take any shortcuts. But yeah, I do still have to maintain a job, and do some privates here and there to try to make ends meet, for sure.
And how good was it back in 2024 when you were able to get that third round victory against Tyler Wilson and get crowned the BFL champion?
It was amazing. It was I expected, obviously, after that, to be able to uh propel my career, and after that, winning that Christian Rivas fight as well.
Yeah.
um I thought that I would be at that next level. So I kind of took like a sigh of relief, and I'm like, oh, it's just a matter of time till I get the call. And that's why, like, when that Christian Strong fight got proposed, and they're like, yeah, like, this is it, after this you're gonna get it. So putting all that pressure on myself, like, it was a great victory, and I'm grateful for it. But in this sport, man, you can't take the foot off the gas, and you're gonna have to keep pushing hard, and being able to continue that. And for me, I think that I'm right there on the doorstep, and
Yeah.
a couple, maybe one or two more high level performances will propel my career, and put me at that UFC storefront. And I think that, with starting with Aso, and then kind of seeing where it goes from there. But yeah, I'm super grateful for both those title fights, and coming out of those victorious was huge. And just getting that experience in a title fight is huge. I've fought Siri twice for the title. So out of my 6 pro fights, or out of my sorry, my 14 pro fights, like, how many, like, 6 of them have been title fights. So yeah, it's just that experience alone is huge.
And who, apart from GSP, because obviously he's the greatest Canadian fighter, one of the greatest middleweights to come all time. But what's your top three next greatest Canadian fighters?
Top 3 best Canadian fighter, like coming up, or like still
It
from the
can
old
be
school.
either coming up or old school.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I really like Patrick Cote. He was good. Mark Hominick when he fought Aldo. That was pretty sick fight. That was a cool one. Yeah, man, and I think just an up and comer. I think Rodrigo, man, he's an animal, and I've been blessed to be able to train with him. He's Brazilian, obviously, but reps Canada hard. He got a Canadian tattoo on him as well, so he's definitely reps both Canada and Brazil. And I think everybody's going to be in for a treat once he gets into the UFC. So I would say those three.
And once you do get the victory against Aso, what are you doing to celebrate?
I'm gonna definitely enjoy some pizza. That's my go-to. Some pizza, and I love pastries, man. I love croissants, and so I'm gonna indulge on that weekend. But obviously, God willing, everything goes all right. I'm gonna try to get on that next BFL card before the UFC. So not much of a break. And then yeah, just hoping to get hop right back in there and create some noise. For all the UFC brass to see.
And is there any particular type of pizza or
Man, for me, I like it super plain Jane. Like I went to Italy a few years back, and yeah, just a plain margarita pizza with some olive oil is my way to go. So yeah, that alone, just a large one is is all I need, man.
so if you know any large pizza places that does good margaritas, make sure you hook him up and
Mm.
he'll be able to rate it for you.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah, yeah. I would
finally,
say,
sorry, what was
sorry.
that?
No, no, I was just gonna say there's definitely a really good one with a Michelin star in Port Moody near where I live. So if anybody wants to check that out, it's really good.
Now, finally, what's your fight prediction? How are you getting Aso out?
Yeah, I'm always hunting for the finish, and I think that like I'm sure you know as well, like everybody looks for finishes in the sport. It's the years of the people that have decisions. They don't get into the UFC. I mean, you obviously saw it in the Radley fight as well.
Yeah,
Dominant win, but didn't get the call up, right? So I'm not looking to win a decision, but any finish is what I'm looking for. But I'm not pushing it. I'm not forcing that.
yeah.
So I'm looking to first and foremost win. And while I'm fighting, I'm always hunting for the finish, and I think I have the tools to find the finish in this fight.
And make sure you check out BFL 84 and you can see Ali get the finish. And hopefully, we'll see you in the UFC very shortly. Is
My
there
man, I appreciate it.
anything you'd like to add or anyone you want to shout out?
No, man, just tune in September 4th, co-main event, and I'm looking to put on a great performance for everybody, and tune in and watch an exciting fight.
And I know it's going to be great. Thank you so much.
Thank you, bro.